Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Buried Stars on Nintendo Switch. Okay. There's lots and lots of different combinations of answers for this, so this may take a while. We're gonna try though. Okay, so I think we have everybody's answers, right? Yeah. We've done about as good as I think. I think maybe there were 1 or 2 times where I had lost some sanity. He had finally compiled a list of the staff who could be assumed.
프로필 사건 때 잘린 막내 스텝, 그리고 공식 계정 관리 스텝.
얘기하다 보니 그렇게 남았네.
엄한 사람 찍으면 역풍 맞을지도 몰라요.
Just then a message from Plughole arrived. Yo man, it's time to end it all. You get the big picture now after talking with people? Not really.
선택할 시간이야. 이야기를 재구성해 볼게. 먼저 막내 스텝부터.
Okay, let's reconstruct the former timeline. So I know this one is the correct answer. I know we have at least that. So the youngest staff member caused trouble by posting rumors that he heard from contestants on B-Star's website, Phater. Let's see. The staff member was hired during the preliminaries and fired right before live broadcast began due to a profile accident. So that, and possibly utter blame. Oh, those two are flashing. Is that good? Let's find out.
막내 스텝은 지역 예선 끝날 때쯤 들어왔다고 했어. 해고당한 건 프로필 문제가 드러난 다음. 추측한 범위에 맞다고 볼 수 있어. 프로필 사건 터지고 개인적으로 쓰는 계정도 끌려 나왔어. 해고 당하고도 한참 동안 비난에 시달렸지. 스텝끼리 한 말이나 출연자한테 들은 얘기 같은 걸 유출한 적 있었어.
Yes.
끝났어. 막내 스텝 얘기.
출연자 정보는 어떻게 알았던 거죠?
유출 사건이 있었지. 일하는 동안 가십을 모으고 여러 채널로 퍼뜨렸어. 여러 잡무를 했고 전산이나 기기에 관련된 일도 있었지. 잠깐 공식 계정도 맡아서 쓴 적이 있었고. 워치 기능하고 페이터 비번에 대해서도 알만한 개연성이 있어.
비번을 받은 건 본선 2회야. 해고는 더 전의 일인데?
아, 그건 제가 말해볼게요. 관련 스텝은 더 일찍 알 수 있었을 거예요. 본선 1회까지는 페이터도 대신 썼으니까.
해고 상태라 오늘 사고에도 휘말리지 않았어. 스텝 연락망 중에 아직 남아있다면 우리가 전한 PD님 소식을 일찍 듣는 것도 가능해.
잘린 사람이 연락망에 남아 있을까?
사실 좀 그렇긴 한데 가능하긴 해요. 스텝 구성이 좀 복잡해서요. 계약에 파견서도 껴있고 수색하려는데 명단도 제대로 안 나올 정도니까.
그렇다 쳐도 왜 익명으로 반협박을 하는 건데?
그건 아마 프로필 사건으로 해고된 건 같아요. 더 짚어볼 여지는 있지만요.
He often uploaded rumors using his personal account. He was criticized for causing the profile accident, and his personal info was leaked. He got fired before the finals.
다음은 공식 계정 관리자 차례야.
The actions of the official account manager. Let's see here. Account manager made the mistake of sharing posts critical of using while logged into the official account, although quickly deleted the post. It was too late. The official account manager was suspected of being a fan of Beloved. That suspicion was found out to be true later via his personal account. The official account manager made a mistake and was blamed by many for it. His poor explanation was largely ignored. People demanded more reasonable explanation. Previous official account manager returned after the poor staff recalls the accident got fired. After being replaced by another staff member, he whined to contestants whom he just met that reassignment wasn't fair. So there. Wait. Wait. Ah, damn it! I did the whole thing. Ah, shit. Maybe?
공식 계정 운영자는 몇 번이나 교체됐었어. 결국 돌고 돌아 원래 하던 사람한테로 돌아갔지. 지금 관리자, 그러니까 처음 계정을 관리하던 사람은 계정 실수를 저질렀어. 베스타 공식 계정에 로그인한 채로 혜성이 까는 글을 공유해버렸지. 바로 공유를 취소했지만 벌써 많은 사람들이 본 다음이었어. 개인 계정과 공식 계정을 헷갈렸다고 해명했었지. 사람들은 실수가 아닐 거라며 이유를 찾겠다고 나섰어. 그러다 개인 계정에서 옛 비러브드 팬을 자처했던 걸 찾았지. 스텝이 본분을 잊고 자기 덕질에 치우쳤다고들 했어. 결국 관리자는 징계를 받고 교체당했지. 출연자들한테 와서 호소하기도 했어. 나름대로 억울하다는 거였지. 이쪽도 정리됐어. 공식 계정 관리자 얘기. 그쪽은 현장 스텝이 아니야. 사고에 휘말리지 않았어.
그렇지. 지금도 계속 글 쓰고 있으니까.
페이터를 관리했으니까 우리 쪽 비번도 알 개연성이 있어.
출연자들 얘기를 어느 정도 알고 있는 건?
컨셉 잡아야죠. 어떤 스텝한테는 전달돼요. 범위가 어디까지인지 무슨 얘기인지까진 각각 다르지만요.
PD님 얘기를 일찍 아는 것도 베스타 관리자한테는 가능했어.
우리가 제작진에게 말했으니까 바로 전파됐을 수 있어. 그렇다면 뭐에 빡쳐서 이러는 건데?
공식 계정으로 혜성이 까는 글을 공유했었지. 실수라고 했지만 맹 비난을 받다 결국 징계까지 갔어. 개인 계정에선 혜성이 안티에 영희 누나 팬이었던 게 밝혀졌고.
정말 상상도 못했어.
갑자기 우리한테 억울하다면서 훅 들어오기도 했었고. 본인 딴에 이유가 있다는 거였으니까. 혜성이가 사고 치니까 나름 돕겠다고 한 건데 자기만 불이익을 봤다고 생각한 것 같았어.
After his official mistake of sharing a bad post about Hyosung, people found out he was a fan of Yoon. He quit his job, but came back to work after his successor was fired. Considering the three conditions, the motive for anonymous attacks, the decision to access the contestant secrets and Singing's death, and access to the watch's password info, the official account manager and former staff both satisfied all three conditions.
막상 여기까지 오니 결론이 어렵네. 누굴까?
글쎄요.
먼저 하나 시도하고 영 별로다 싶음 넘어가면?
실패할 경우의 리스크도 생각하셔야죠.
Seal came forward while adjusting his glasses.
아까부터 조금 애매했던 건데요. 추측이야 괜찮아요. 출연자 계정으로 저격하실 거면 반대예요. 싸움 붙는 순간부터 문제가 생겨요. 아시잖아요. 그 책임은 딱 한 명 스텝인 저한테 올 수도 있고요.
야, 그치만
제대로 짚어도 저쪽이 잡아떼면 그만이긴 해. 정황은 있어도 확실한 단서가 없어. 그럼 여기까지겠지.
귀여기 형 말대로예요. S승연이 바깥에 있는 놈 같단 것까지 나왔잖아요. 그럼 제가 뭐라고 하든 신경 끄면 되는 거라고요.
They weren't wrong. Introduce the second ballot system or something? Why don't you answer me? Dune explained how he narrowed down the pool of the staff suspects and their stories. If Seung is under a lot of pressure, we can take them out using circumstantial evidence. But it doesn't seem to be the case, meaning we can't. Then what should we do? We need stronger evidence other than circumstantial one. Like what? I've accessed Hyosung's cloud before. Then it was logged in with the IP history. Then it was logged in with the IP access history. I saw the history, but there were not many logs. I guess Hyosung hardly visited the backup server. And I found out another IP logged several times before me. Bypassed IP visited one of the African countries. Guess who it is? It's Seung's IP. Does it have to do with choosing between the two? Of course. You bet your life on it. Pod is connected from a PC. If there is a foreign IP logged, Seung is using a PC to access Phater. Let's see if the official account. Let's see if it's the official account, but I need your help. What help? Let's make a very interesting bait link related to you guys. If someone clicks it, their IP and device model will be logged. Then you send the same link to the official account. Why me? Because I can't. Seung may ignore a link sent by an anonymous user, so it must be sent by you. If the link is accessed from the official account, the IP and device model will be logged. Then I'll check if the IP is the same as the one logged on the cloud server, and if the device is a PC. What if Seung uses two PCs? One for the official account and the other for Seung. Look, buddy. Let's suppose you're the official account manager and also using Seung's account from another PC. You have clicked the link and seen the whole content in it. Then how likely is it for you to go to another PC to log in as Seung and click the link again, or go to another PC to click the link sent to the official account? It's not impossible, but extremely unlikely. We've seen how this person is behaving, all their careless behaviors. Let's sum it up. If the first visitor's IP is the same as the one in the cloud and the device is a PC, the official account manager is Seung. Or the former staff member, either of the two. Does it have to be a link of a personal story? We could still lure him without such a thing. Take it or leave it. I'm 100% sure that a personal story is the best way to lure that worm. We must make Seung click the link. Just put up the title and write nothing. Don't be scared, man. If you don't like using others, why not use yours, Yoon? We don't have to really disclose anything. My finger hurts from typing too long. Then make up your mind and let me know so I can check it. Let's end it. Maybe. The conversation ended with an unsolved question. At this point, there is no other way. He decided to go along with Plughole's advice.
혹해서 링크를 찍을 만한 얘기. 황당한 걸 빼고 그럴싸한 화제를 고르면
Dean persuaded other members to join B-Stars. The professor granted Goyhook the scholarship to help him recover from his financial problem. Goyhook didn't know about it, but it was still illegal. Hina knew that no one in the show could avoid unwanted attention unless she expressed that the contestants also needed a break from the public eye. Yoon worked as a barista at her mom's cafe. With her family's sincere care and appropriate medical treatment, she could regain her strength. I guess I would use mine. I don't know.
내 이야기로 미끼를 던지면 어떨까? 페스타 참가의 뒷사정에 대한 정보라는 식으로.
Yeah, sure.
난 내걸 쓰는 게 낫겠지.
I'm back with the link. HTTPS tiny URL, blah 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 blah. Send this link to the official Beastars account manager with some appealing description.
내 차례인가?
WBS Buried Stars. Link, check this out. It's so chaotic. What is this? He threw the bait and waited. A few minutes later, Plughole's message arrived. Package has been delivered. Here's the identity of SCing you've requested. You checked the logs? Of course. Here's the result of the bait link. The identity of SCing is... We'll continue after ad. Oh, come on, I'm serious here. Don't get serious, it doesn't help. Anyway, the identity of SCing is... Say it. Young staff member. The identity of SCing who'd been harassing everyone. It was the former staff member who got fired as a scapegoat. I mean, that makes sense. Different IP and device for the official account. A few minutes later, the IP from the cloud reappeared. The former staff member still seems to have access to the network. Beastar's friends, security comes first. He helped a lot to reveal SCing's identity. Anyway, he seems like an ally. Or is he? Anyway, now's the time to decide. Decide what? We will make SCing unable to come back anymore. We can embarrass SCing by revealing what we've collected so far. That's the life. The higher you soar up, the greater damage you fall. It wasn't easy for Jiyun to send the answer. The former staff member who exploited the death of Seoyoung and mocked the survivors. Was it because he was so resentful of the show's success and the spotlight on the contestants? Was it that unfair? Was it that miserable? Nobody here remembers his name. He was not a noteworthy person. The former staff member? No one remembered much about him at all. Excuse me, are you there or what? You don't like a noisy brawl? You want to handle it quietly? Then we can just report who he is to the official account manager. You prefer it that way? Let's let Pluggle do what he wants. I'm sure that's the wrong answer since I picked it. I'll leave it to you. Okay, let's beat the crap out of this loser. Just wait and watch the show. I'm sure a few sucker punches will soon turn into mob violence. Other people might have a different idea. You should persuade them. But... Dude, listen carefully. It's a big thing to take down SCU. Your friends there will have more room to breathe for a while. But this is not the end. Probably due to a signal issue, no further message came from him. He checked the timeline on the watch. SCU, the most popular account in Phater. I'm sad to say that it was the new staff who got fired for messing up the Beastar's profile. Sniff. I've already checked the IP, so don't worry about it. The two can't be living in Africa or something, right? Nervous, huh? The mail address and the first digits of the phone number matched exactly when I checked the recovery option. I understand it must have been difficult and frustrating, but it's not like the contestants prayed for the profile error to occur. Isn't he almost certainly SCU? Finally, the truth will show itself. You framed him as the informer of Hyosung's past life, and it didn't work. Now you're trying to frame him as an evil staff member? Haven't you seen my photo of the scene? I can't believe you're still suspecting me over that hypocrite. Rookie, I'll be waiting on the new photo full of metadata. Don't think it's going to work. Of course it's impossible. You want another piece of evidence? Fine, just hold there. You know, the former staff member's personal account has been exposed. Now I think about it, Seung sounds pretty much like him. Yeah, it's weird for him to impersonate Seung out of everyone else. I checked the former staff member's Phater, and he spoke just like this guy. And you know what? The account was changed to a private mode just now. Didn't he make an excuse that the mixed-up data was not his mistake? Only weirdos make such a basic mistake. Is it true that Seung is an ex-staff member who was fired? Is he causing all this trouble impersonating a dead person for his personal grudge? What a loser. If survivors and bereaved families file a suit, his life is over. If Seung is really that guy, then he'd better kneel down and beg for mercy to everyone right now. Or does he have something up his sleeve, a secret card or something? Around the time of the profile issue, I heard from a friend of mine who knew that guy, and my friend said he was a wacko, a true, genuine wacko out of all the staff members. Look, Seung's posts are being erased. He's running away now. If he's deleting them all, then it's obvious who he is. Those who dance to Seung's tune, they should do something to make up their stupid mistake by writing an apology post or something. I don't expect much, though. What Seung has disclosed so far were rumors he heard while working for Beastars. Seung is done? It tried to witch hunt survivors using public opinion only to face a backlash. We will take decisive action on spreading false information about survivors or damaging the reputation of the deceased. Seung never came back. It served as proof that his identity was successfully revealed. Or it's actually plug hole. Public opinion shifted suddenly. The timeline was flooded with posts criticizing and blaming Seung.
Good.
Well, boy, I don't like that apparently. Seung, who'd been harassing the group for so long, finally made his exit. His exit wasn't as pleasant or delightful as Diyun had imagined it would be. Seung was found out to be a former staff member who had been held solely responsible as a scapegoat for the profile accident. The survivors exchanged flustered looks with one another.
퇴장이네요, S승연. 아니, 막내 스텝. 어이없지만 걔 이름도 잘 생각이 안 나요.
다들 마찬가지일 거야.
Young, who was holding the watch by her knee, raised her head.
프로필 사건이 원인이었다니. 우리가 자르라고 한 거 아니잖아. 근데 왜?
이슈의 간판은 출연자니까.
실실 쪼개고 다니는 꼴을 보니 증오가 쌓였다 그런 건가?
There was a heavy silence. The pressure they felt while the identity of Seung was hidden was no longer there. And the next question in the queue emerged in its place. A depressing question that would weigh heavily upon them heavily.
근데 그러면
At the same time, the question was inevitable.
서혜성을 죽인 건 누구야?
That's right. He still died. I mean, that's still looking pretty good. Seal stretched out his hand to interrupt.
그거야 모르죠. S승연 아닌 건 확실한데.
다시 원점으로 돌아가나?
Oh, am I playing Ina? Where is she?
S승연. 정말 여기 사건이랑 관계가 없는 건가?
넘겨짚다 분위기를 탄 것뿐일 거야.
그럼 역시 어디 숨은 놈이 범인이겠지? 모르겠어. 한 번 다 뒤져본 다음이라. 어쨌든 누가 있다고 믿고 싶어. 우리가 모르는 어디에. 그게 아니면 결론이 하나뿐이잖아. 우리 안에 범인이.
3:55 a.m. Doubts. The heat to sweat on Dune's neck suddenly turned cold.
그럴 리가요. 당연히 따로 있죠. 우리 말고.
뭐든 확실한 건 하나야. 단단히 뭉쳐있으면 안전해.
우린 5명이니까요.
Ina's gaze lingered among the rest of the group. There was some awkward silence.
그치? 그렇겠지? 그런데 나 궁금한 게 있어.
Ina slowly turned around to face Guihuk.
서혜성 보러 분장실 갔을 때 얘기 끝나고 바로 돌아온 거 맞지? 그때 걔 멀쩡했지?
뭐?
그냥 궁금해서. 난 걔 만나지도 못했고.
바로 왔어. 다음은 다 아는 정계였고.
여기 있는 사람은 혜성이를 해칠 이유가 없어. 이유가 있어야 그래? 수틀려서 열받아서 그럴 수도 있잖아. 혜성이 기억이 온 다음에도 S승연이랑 싸웠어. 그거는 뭐 그런가?
Guihuk slightly loosened the knot of his tie.
다 뿌리치고 혼자 간 건 이나 너였어. 수틀려서 열받아서 그런 거라면 범위를 넓혀보는 게 어때?
나? 지금 내 얘기? 걔가 페이터에 뭔 소리를 할지 몰라서 그랬지. 뭔지도 모를 걸 발표하니 많이 그러는데 손 놓고 봐?
Dune felt like throwing up and his head was spinning. He tried to ease the group's anxiety by removing S-Seeing from the picture. Once S-Seeing was gone, they began to suspect one another.
이나, 네가 말한 페이터 발표 얘긴 결국 뭐였는지 모르게 됐어. 우리가 아는 건 혜성이가 하나씩 불러 사태를 강요했던 것뿐이야. 잠깐, 그거 처음에 누가 말해줬지? 사태 얘기하면서 협박 비슷하게 했단 말 서혜성한테 직접 들은 게 아니야. 전해 들은 거지.
Yeah, I did say that.
나야. 내가 제일 먼저 혜성이를 만났잖아. 갔다 와서 무슨 얘기를 했는지 말해줬고.
도윤아, 나설 필요 없어.
그래, 너였네. 다음이 큐. 두 사람이 다녀와서 비슷한 얘기를 했지. 둘이 말을 맞추거나 한 건 아닐 테고.
그럴 이유가 없지.
이나야, 이제 그만해.
그냥 생각만 좀 해보려는 거야.
Young intervened, raising her hands.
얘기해보는 정도는 괜찮다고 생각해. 혼자 불안에 떠는 것보다야 낫겠지.
I mean, it would kind of make sense that Ina is the killer. You know, it would also match the ending of the normal ending. Yeah.
그치만 너무 딥하게 들어가지 말자. 몇 시간은 더 기다려야 되는 상황이야. 감정 다치고 싸우다 떨어져 나가기라도 하면. 그렇게까지 할 생각은 아니었어.
제일 수상했던 놈이 막 퇴장했으니까요. 각자 생각이 많아지는 건 어쩔 수 없어요.
그건 나도 마찬가지니까.
Young put one hand on top of her head and slowly took a deep breath.
혜성이 찾았을 때 벌써 여러 가지를 따져봤어. 그땐 S승연이 제일 수상하다는 전제가 있었지.
지금은 그게 사라져버린 거고?
Ina lowered her gaze and nodded.
그럼 이렇게 해보는 건 어때? 다시 한번 자세히 파보는 거야.
어떤 거에 대해서?
Whiteout continued after a brief pause.
혜성이가 무대에서 떠난 다음 우리 행적.
그때 얘길?
굳이 되새길 필요까지 있을까요?
이자를 불러 말어.
Everyone seemed to hesitate at Whiteout's remark.
그게 좋지 않을까? 다 털고 가려면.
I don't think we need to go over it again. Sure. Still.
해보죠.
What the hell?
전제가 바뀌었으니까 다시 짚어봐요. 막연하게 화살 날리는 것보다 그게 낫겠어요.
딴 사람들은 어때요?
다 괜찮은 거면 저도 뭐 굳이 결사반대까진.
이제 와서 빼기도 그러네. 해보자. 해보면 되지. 우리가 할 건 생존이지 수사가 아니야. 그건 조심하자.
None of them really disagreed with going over their whereabouts again. Let's go over it again. Might help us to ease the tension. It seemed like there was an implicit agreement. Is everyone happy with the elimination of the rat? The attacker might still be among us. I have thought so. I saved you guys out of trouble, and now you're fighting amongst yourselves? I hope there's no brawl going on. You want me to stop them aggressively? If you overreact, you will become the focus of the group, Dune. You'd better point out anything suspicious. Tension is to be avoided, but a mild degree of stress could be helpful to overcome the situation. No, thank you. Dune closed the messenger. It was a reasonable idea. Rather than letting all the suspicions explode later, it would be better to clear them now. So they decided to have another talk. But he couldn't help but feel the sense of defiance towards Plughole's casual tone of speech. What? I thought we were working on it together. Please don't sulk, I'm begging you. I don't like your tone. Aye, aye, sir. Your tone. Okay. Dean lowered the watch and listened to what the others had to say. There was some progress to the story.
S 승연이나 밖에서 온 침입자는 빼고 하는 거랬지? 뭐든 마지막 발견이 2시. 화장실인 건 똑같아.
옮긴 흔적은 없었죠. 거기에서 당했어요.
가능했던 시간대는 2시에서 앞으로 20분 정도.
Dean cheated over the time period again.
1시 40분. 혜성이 페이터 글이 뚝 끊긴 시점이야. 1시 40분부터 2시 사이에 화장실로 갈 수 있던 사람은 이나는 40분쯤 혜성이 페이터를 보고 분장실로 갔어. 아무도 따라오지 말라고 못 박아둔 채로. 진동 전까지 중앙복도에서 기다렸다고 했지. 그걸 본 사람은 아무도 없어.
Ina waited in front of the dressing room until the tremor came, but nobody saw what she was really doing during that time.
세일이는 진동이 끝나고 중앙복도로 갔어. 빈 분장실에 있다가 중앙복도로 나와 이나를 마주쳤다고 했지. 분장실로 갔다가 다시 이나를 만나기 전까지 혼자였어.
Seal said he went to the dressing room directly and waited in the empty room for a while. Could he have done anything strange before he met Ina in the corridor?
누나는 1시 40분 지나서 잠깐 사라진 적이 있어. 그치만 금방 돌아왔고 이나와 세일이도 무대에서 누나를 만났어. 그 말대로면 누나는 화장실에 접근할 타이밍이 없었을 거야.
Oh, really?
좀 이상한데.
He was thinking about those who were able to go to the restroom.
1시 40분부터
Well, I know it's these two.
인하는 40분쯤 해성에
Okay, yeah, we got the.
세일이를 만나기 전까진 본인만 뭘 했는지 알고.
Ina said that she left the dressing room and headed to the staff corridor. Then she got back to the stage after meeting with Seo. What was she doing before she met Seo then?
세일이는 진동이 끝나고 중앙복도로 갔어. 세일이 그 20분 동안 화장실로 넘어갈 수 있었던 건 이 두.
Ina, who refused accompaniment and left, and Seo, who followed her shortly after the tremor, were the ones who were able to commit the crime during that period.
게다가 둘은 중앙복도에서 만나기 전까진 서로를 마주치지 않았어. 앞에 행적을 증명하는 건 각자의 이야기뿐이고.
At that time, both Waihook and Duyun were on stage. Yiying was gone for a while, but it was impossible for her to go to the central corridor.
아니, 결국 그 말씀이잖아요.
Duyun raised his head at Seo's echoing voice from the other side.
의심병 한 번 떨었다고 막 아구창을 날리네?
무슨 일이야?
그 틈에 서해성 조질 수 있는 게 나랑 장세일이라잖아! 그런 거면 내가 왜 먼저 얘기를 꺼내냐고? 내가 바보야?
서혜성한테 까칠하게 군 게 어디 저뿐이에요?
Although Seo was a production staff member, he openly showed hostility towards Hyosung.
뭘 했다는 게 아니야. 외부인 빼고 생각하니까.
맞장구 치고 가긴 어렵다고요, 그거.
둘 중에 하나면 반반 확률로 범인 당첨이네?
처음 얘기한 대로 걸리는 점을 짚어본 거야.
저한테도 걸리거든요. 아주 목구멍에 딱 걸리네요.
모난돌이 정 많네. 이게 뭐야? 황당하게. 내가 범죄자라고? 사람 뒤통수나 까는?
Ina ran her hands through her hair, mussing it up. Did you patch up everything? I'm a bit worried. Getting carried away can be risky. It could be better if you dig into it. It could be better if you dig into it further. It could be true. If they went over every little detail, they might find a decisive clue. But if the real attacker comes out, there'll be another problem.
어떻게 하라는 거야?
What do you say? No answer? You must be in trouble. Stay calm. We've handled troubles pretty good so far, right? I'm just looking forward to the safe return of Mr. Han. He said he was waiting for Duyun to come back safely and that he should continue to keep his cool. It was Duyun who had to make the choice. Who put together the missing pieces?
얘기를 다시 들어봐요. 자세히 들으면 풀릴 오해잖아요.
뭐 그래. 딱지 붙이는 거 완전 사형이거든.
어쩔 수 없나.
The two nodded their approval. It seemed that nobody wanted this to continue.
뭐냐? 썰 한번 풀어보자.
그럴 마음이 들었어?
극혐이거든. 범죄자 딱지.
이나 씨가 그렇다면 저도.
취조하려는 건 아니야.
아는데 강조하니까 아닌 것 같다.
그럼 찬찬히 얘기해줘.
The two of them began to talk with grim looks on their faces. Oh, we're still doing this? Okay. Alright, so I would like to go back a little bit and Let's see, which one did we do? I think it was this one. Yeah. I don't know how big of a deal it is that I lost those 2 sanity points. Maybe it's not a big deal at all, or the game could be a real jerk and, you know, have me lose because I lost 2 sanity. I wouldn't put it past it. I wouldn't put it past them, the developers, at all, if that's what they did. What was it? This. Wait, why is... was that it? Oh god, no, I don't remember. I should have wrote this down.
도윤아, 생각이 복잡해?
I think it was that one. No. Oh god, I don't remember. I do not remember. I tell you guys, my memory is terrible. Okay, there we go.
끝났어. 막내 스텝 얘기.
Damn it. I just do not remember. I don't know how I got it right the first time after we came back. I think the other ones are easy. I think this one is the hardest one to answer. I think there's only one wrong answer you can have. Thankfully. If there are 4 or 5 wrong answers, we'd probably still be guessing. Ah, I wish you could save more often. It sucks that it's so far back that the autosaves exist, or that you can't use a manual save anywhere. I mean, it's a problem with other visual novels too, but this one seems really bad about it. And I think it's okay for me to take the hit on this one rather than sharing somebody else's story. I don't really think that's fair, so I'm okay with losing sanity on this one. Then let's try this other one. Let's see what happens here if we don't let Plughole have his way. I don't really trust Plughole, that's the thing. We'll report him to the official account manager to kick him out quietly. Dude. On your sole discretion? I have a say in it too. Oh well. If that's what you really want. If that's what you really, really want. Don't tell me what I want. Other people might have a different idea. You should persuade them. But... Dian, listen carefully. It's a big thing to take down Essien. Oh. Okay, this is all the same. Oh, wait a minute, this is different. Okay, well. Fact is that what Essien said is true. If Essien went silent, meaning what he said so far are all lies, anyone trying to get attention using a dead person must be hanged in public. We should declare a boycott against Gissing and Duyan. We can't let a liar and a criminal cover their past wrongdoings and appear on TV. Now that Essien is dealt with, there should be no more trouble. Did they intervene to stop it from do harm to Gwyhook? It's good for Ina anyway. If we ignored that troll from the first place, there wouldn't have been any dead people. Too late. And all those who paid attention and responded to it must reflect on their behaviors. If B-Stars managed the ranking properly, no people would have fallen for it. I don't know. It seems like that's a worse ending. Essien never came back. It served as proof that his identity was successfully revealed. The survivors exchanged flustered looks with one another.
퇴장이네요. S승연.
Okay, so this is the same.
근데 그러면 서혜성을
Yeah, it's kind of the same result, but the people on Phater don't like us anymore.
그거야 모르죠. S승연 아닌 건 확실한데.
다시 원점으로 돌아.
넘겨짚다 분위기를 탄 것뿐일 거야.
그럼 역시 어디 숨은 놈이 범인이겠지? 모르겠어. 한 번 다. 어쨌든 누가 있다고 믿고 싶어. 우리가 모르는 어디에. 그게 아니면 결론.
Yeah, this is all the same. Yeah, that was the right answer. Say I did it. No big deal. It would be a weird thing to lie about. I'll say we don't need to do it this time.
놔두면 계속 얘기가 나올지도 몰라.
우리가 할 건 생존이야. 수사가 아니고.
이제 와서 빼기도 그러니 해보자.
뭐 저도 굳이 결사 반대까진 아니에요.
Oh, that's interesting. I affect more moods if I agree with Hook. Not that it matters so much, but... Oh, okay. Well, I get more sanity this way.
얘기를 다시 들어봐요.
And like I said, I had to prioritize my sanity unless I gain keywords. The keywords trump sanity.
자세히 들으면 풀릴 오해잖아요.
뭐 그래. 딱지 붙이는 거 완전 사양이거든.
Okay, I mean, this seems like a better place for me as far as where my sanity sits. Okay, should we check Phater? Maybe there's more keywords. When going home, she was photographed by fans. Oh, do we already have that photo? Oh yeah, that's the photo with Seal in it. Ooh, do we find out he's a stalker here? I'll be specific, so listen carefully. I went straight to the dressing room. When I arrived at the dressing room door, I felt nervous. I thought about what he might say and how I should respond.
그렇다니까.
Then I called him from outside the door.
그래?
He called out his name? Yes, just loud enough for him to hear me. There was no response. I waited there for a minute,
그러면
but you didn't go in.
잠깐만.
I thought the dressing room door was locked. Oh, yeah, I got a word. Okay, damn it. Ina said she was waiting at the dressing room door, thinking it was locked.
혹시
Did you try calling him or using the messenger?
야,
Why would I do that? Ina bristled at his remark and put her hands around her waist. I just waited there. That's when the tremor came. It was pretty intense. When the tremor died out, I opened the door. It wasn't locked. That's what happened up until I entered the dressing room. Ina said she didn't try to contact Hyesung while waiting at the door of the dressing room. I mean, I guess if we say that after Guihuk left, Hyesung went to the bathroom, then Ina came to see him, and while he was in the bathroom, there was a tremor, and then he got killed by a rock falling from the ceiling or whatever. Right? I mean, I guess that could have happened. He could have lost his balance and hit his head, and then dragged himself into the stall. That doesn't make any sense, but... I don't know, maybe. Tracer's turn.
설마.
I never expected the dressing room to be empty. Once I saw that it was empty, I got goosebumps. A chill ran up my spine.
그래서
Is that why you went to look for Hyesung?
그래.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was pulling a practical joke hiding somewhere. Ina ran her finger in the air as if drawing the central corridor.
들어봐봐.
Look, I came straight to the central corridor from the stage, right?
그러니까
So I excluded the stage from my search list. And I was at the central corridor right before going to the dressing room. That's why I went to the staff corridor.
설마.
The restroom wasn't... To be honest, it didn't even cross my mind. But the staff corridor was empty. I've gone all the way inside. My hair stood on end when I realized that it was empty. I hurriedly came back to the central corridor and met Seal there. Checked the staff corridor and came back to the central corridor and met Seal there. I was so surprised.
그래도
I guess you were able to loosen up a bit, though. Is that when you guys came back out? Seal said we should go back to the stage. The dressing room was empty and Hissing was nowhere to be found. I agreed that we should go back to the stage first. That's how we came back to the stage. It was Seal that suggested returning to the stage. He thought it was more important than finding Hissing. I mean, he is the most suspicious. But it would be more fun if Ina was the killer.
모르겠어.
I don't know what he was doing before he met me. Well, he must have come to the central corridor. I guess he ran into me while wandering around the dressing room. So is that all?
당연하지.
Of course that's all. What do you expect me to do? See through the walls?
헛짓이야.
Ask me all you want, but be reasonable. Ask him directly, okay? I can only tell you about what happened after I met him. Oh, well, okay, don't ask that question. I got nothing out of that. I mean, really, either one of them could be the killer. It makes more sense that CL is the killer, but like I said, it's more fun if Ina is the killer. Or he could have just accidentally got killed. I mean, that would make sense in the story too, that he was just in the bathroom and he fell over and got hurt and hurt himself or something. I mean, there was glass on the floor was wet and slippery. I don't know, I mean...
왜 그래?
Do you mind to tell you why I went there? Where should I begin? It's not like we were friends. Ina repeatedly crossed and uncrossed her arms. And then he locked himself in the dressing room. He said something about having aces in the hole.
그렇다면
I was sure he didn't mean a gun or a knife, so I was keeping an eye on Phater. Sure enough, he wrote something about making an announcement or something.
그랬어.
And that's when I went.
그래.
I went after Goico came back. Then he wrote another post. Yes, it was right after, to be exact. God knows when he might say that what, and I didn't want to feel nervous every time he wrote something.
말하자면
I thought I might have to give him a good scolding so that he would come back to his senses. And that's why I went to see him. That was the only reason. Ina left by herself after seeing the last comment Hissing posted on Phater. Of course, it could be plug hole. Maybe plug holes in the. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities.
그거는
I wasn't on good terms with him either, but Seal and Hissing were like sworn enemies. I sometimes didn't understand why Hissing was so hell-bent on needling Seal. Most of the contestants tried to maintain good relationships with the staff.
그러니까
I mean, you don't have to be a suck-up, but why would you want to lose favor with the staff? Ina put her finger on her lip and paused for a moment.
정리하면
From my experience, Hissing always initiated the fight. He provoked and ignored Seal. Under the circumstances, it's hard to say anything positive. Yeah, but Seal's just such a little bitch. I imagine somebody with Hissing's personality would not, would just be, they couldn't help themselves if they saw somebody act that way, right? If you're a bully and you see somebody who's kind of a pushover, you're naturally just going to pick on them. Probably just without even thinking about it.
설마
Are you asking me because you really don't know?
한도윤,
Diyun, you were the one who told me about that the door was locked.
아니야?
You said Hyusung locked himself in. Don't you remember?
그랬지.
He did, though. He opened the door for me after making sure I was alone.
맞아.
Yeah, Gohyuk also said the same thing. He wasn't exactly welcoming people. You also said you hesitated at the door. Let's just say I waited there for a moment, including that. I'm sorry?
저기
Sorry if I got you confused.
Oh?
What's this all of a sudden? That's not what I wanted to hear. You can just say it was locked when you went there, but opened when I went. Maybe Hyusung didn't lock it when he left the dressing room. What else then? Ina massaged her shoulders. I'm so frustrated that my shoulders are cramping.
어쨌든
Anyways, you said this wasn't an interrogation, right?
그래.
How would I even do that? I'm not a detective.
야,
But your eyes are telling me otherwise. Anyhow, that's what I had been doing until an intense tremor came. Ina was waiting before the door only because Diyun and Gwaihok said the door was locked. I guess it makes sense that she wouldn't even try. I don't know. I mean, who do you think is the killer, or do you already know? I have no idea. I honestly don't. But I said I think it would be more fun if Ina was the killer, because we don't know her past either. So she really is a wild card. But it probably isn't her.
너 괜찮아?
Some details you have there. Why didn't you go for the police job instead of joining the audition? That's mighty thorough of you. Ina gently folded her limbs.
그러니까
You asked me why I just stood there and didn't even try to contact him, right?
그랬었는데.
You said you felt nervous when you arrived there.
맞았어.
That's true. Why do you think I just waited there?
혹시
Was there anything else? Not really. Let's just say they all belong to the same category.
그게
It's hard to explain. It was just a setup for a normal conversation. Sure.
알잖아.
This is for having a conversation. I won't be partial in my judgment.
어?
What are you, a judge now? Ina let out a sigh. I didn't want to leave any records. Records?
예를 들어
Messenger, call records? I just didn't want to leave any tracks.
그게
What does that even mean? You heard me. I think I made the right decision. If I left behind any kind of trace... Ina grabbed her arm with her hand.
아니야?
I would have been the last person to call him.
그랬지.
I guess so. I would have been pushed deeper into the corner, and I couldn't tolerate that. They can portray me as snobby or rude all they want. I just don't want to be treated as a criminal. Ina didn't want to contact Hyusung while waiting by the door because she didn't want her interaction with Hyusung to be recorded. It was kind of suspicious behavior on her part. And I kind of like Ina, and I like girls that are trouble, so it would make sense, now that I think about it, that she'd be the murderer. Yu Young's just too nice of a girl. I wouldn't be interested in her. I thought my heart was about to burst when I ran into him.
그래?
He came out of nowhere like that?
그렇다니까.
He suddenly appeared from the dressing room. I thought Hyusung was taking a leap at me,
그게
but it was you.
그래.
He said he was glad to see me, but I almost gave him a neck chop. Then I would have had to carry him outside. Anything bugging you about Seal?
혹시
Nothing strange about Seal? I was surprised because he showed up out of nowhere.
그거는
But then he looked as surprised as I was. I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm not the only one here that's scared. Ina shrugged her shoulders.
그러니까
When we met, I was coming from the staff corridor and Ciel from the dressing room. After that, we came back together.
그래도
On the way back, there was nothing special. When we opened the door within the corridor and walked straight towards the stage. Oh. Well, we opened the door within the corridor and we walked straight towards the stage. The place looked more damaged following the tremor, but it wasn't that bad.
그러면
So you came back straight away and met Yoon on the way.
그래.
Right, but I was still freaked out. But let's skip that part. A girl with long hair wearing a white dress. You get the picture, right?
하여튼
Anyhow, the three of us were together until we came back to the stage. Which means we can vouch for one another. Which is a good thing. Ina and Ciel met each other in the central corridor. Since that moment, they had been together and could testify for each other's alibi. You know, it'd be even more fun if they were all in it together, because they all disappeared at the same time. What if they all wanted to kill him? I mean, that would be like the joke ending. That'd be as bad as like a UFO came and killed him.
맞았어.
I thought coming back to the stage was the right decision. Things were eerie, and I was back with someone from the group. I was actually glad when he suggested we go back.
그랬었지.
The tremor also gave us a reason to come back. I realized how narrow the corridor was while walking through it with Ciel. Not a good timing. Safety's the most important thing. Yeah, that's true.
그래도
I'm glad you decided to come back. The attacker could have been hiding somewhere waiting for their chance.
그러니까
You're right, although you're thinking about the outcome now. I wasn't aware about Hyosung's incident, but it was still eerie.
그렇잖아.
How are we supposed to fight the attacker? If the attacker got us while we were looking for Hyosung... Ina shuddered at the thought. I don't even want to think about it. And actually, you know, Ina's the only one that's had any sort of, like, physical ability in the whole story. I mean, in the original ending, she was the one who kind of grabbed Ciel, so... and she's the only one that lived at the standard ending. Like I said, it'd be more fun if she was the killer, but I don't know.
왜 그래?
What's wrong with me going there to see him after seeing the Phater post?
있잖아.
Hyosung's last post said, eliminate me if you can.
그래.
Okay, what do you think that meant? He was planning on creating chaos with his announcements? Diyun tilted his head and Ina let out a loud sigh.
야,
Hey, consider the context. He's been blabbering on about forcing us out or using a weapon, but now he's asking us to bring it on? What am I supposed to make out of that? He was waging war against not only SCU, but also all of us. Yeah, I would agree with that.
그럴지도.
That kind of makes sense if I'm to consider the context.
어?
Kind of makes sense. Make up your mind. I can tell by the look on your face that you don't know anything. Everyone feels pressured by different things. And anyone can become a coward depending on the situation or topic.
어쨌든
Anyhow, that was a trigger for me. Ina showed the palm of her hand. That's all you need to know. The last Phater post by Hyosung, which provoked Ina to come to the dressing room next, was actually very unclear in its meaning. It's true, it's because he was bluffing. He didn't have anything, so he had to make it really unclear. Oh boy, yeah, talking to CEO, man. This guy always reduces my sanity, so like I'll end up like only being able to ask him like 2 of these questions.
모르겠어요.
I don't know what Ina was doing before I met her in the central corridor.
그래?
You didn't even know what she was there?
그렇다니까요.
As I said, Ina, Hyosung, even the mystery attacker, I didn't sense any of them. Ciel suddenly stopped shaking his head and stared at Duyun. Wait, are you by any chance... Yeah, see?
설마
Are you doubting Ina's alibi right now? Then I really have nothing to say. You seemed all puffed up after blowing SCU's cover. Why, you're not even like a keyword out of you. Gotta hate talking to you. If he was a person in real life, I would have a very hard time being his friend. But it's a well-written character. I mean, you sort of like don't like the guy. Even though he might be like a very innocent person.
뭐가요?
We met and came right back to the stage. What's wrong with that?
혹시
And nothing bothered you on the way back?
아무래도요.
Of course something bothered me. Hyusung wasn't there. Ina said she didn't see Hyusung either.
혹시
How about your surroundings? Seal scratched the side of his head after hearing Ji-Yun's remark.
도윤이 형,
I was in no condition to check my surroundings. I came back because I met Ina. She was the reason why I went there in the first place. You know that, right? Okay.
전혀요.
There wasn't a soul.
어?
On your way to the dressing room? Not even when you were inside?
네,
Not a soul. Like I said, I went straight to the dressing room from the stage. And I waited there only for a brief moment.
그리고
I met Ina when I came out and when we came back. It was only 10 minutes at most. And the door wasn't closed when I was in the dressing room. I guess the only gap would be when Ina and I missed each other.
혹시나
Any further questions? Hyusung's trace or about the moment of his meeting up with Ina. What about Ina? You love talking about Ina.
그럼
Did you clearly see Ina appearing from the staff corridor?
네,
Yes, I met her on the way to the stage after leaving the dressing room. She came from the door by the staff corridor.
아니죠.
Of course it wasn't from the restroom. Seal stared at Yoon. Is this what you wanted to hear?
100%예요.
It was impossible for Ina, I'm sure of it. After all, my account is the same as before. Seal repeated his claim that he went straight to the dressing room from the stage and when he came out after a while, he met Ina in the staff corridor. Yeah, I always picked the wrong one. I always picked the wrong answer. I swear this game. Everything's a 50-50 answer. God, what are we going to do after we get to the end of this game? Man, yeah.
혹시
Did anything bother you inside or outside the dressing room?
그렇다고 볼 수 있죠.
I told you there was nothing special. Why wouldn't I tell you if there were? Seal continued while moving his fingers. In the end, I came out to head for the stage, and that's when I met Ina.
그게
In the central corridor, right?
네,
She came from the door by the staff corridor. From there, I came right back to the stage, and there wasn't anything special.
그럴까요?
Is this what you wanted to hear? Yeah, can't say anything. Great. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, better. Time slot matching.
왜요?
I was just following Ina. She went to see Hyusung all by herself, and I was worried about her. Even if she insisted on going alone, I couldn't let her take all the risk.
아니었어.
But you've been saying that Hyusung was only bluffing.
그치만요.
Still, she could have felt nervous. Why did Seal look nervous? Afraid that Ina might be affected by Hyusung's threat, because he didn't know what Hyusung would say. Yeah, I guess that would be...
그러면
Were you worried about Ina? Were you worried that Ina might quit the audition because of Hyusung's threats? Ah, damn it.
아니죠.
Ina would never give in to his empty threats. Seal took a step back while staring at Dune.
어쩔 수 없.
She's different from you guys, you know that? You and Gwaihuk went there to persuade Hyosung in a peaceful manner. And even if something went wrong, you would have been able to suppress Hyosung physically.
그치만
But Ina and Yu-young are not like you. Of course I was worried about their safety. Plus, when Ina went to see Hyosung, she was agitated. And I could also feel her anxiety. Ina went to the dressing room looking anxious, and Seal also felt a sense of anxiety. Yeah, but in a fight, it's like it's not like Seal would have been able to do anything. I mean, he's the wimpiest of all the guys there. Ah, well. I wonder if this timeline he still has the tablet, or if that was only for the standard ending. Like maybe he doesn't have the tablet in this ending. I don't know.
그러면
Were you worried about what Hyosung had to say? You asked me to check Phater for you for any news posts, right?
그거야.
It's... You guys said there was nothing special after talking to Hyosung. He failed twice with you guys, so I figured he might try to take a different approach. Ah, both of them give you a... Oh my god. Do you think I went there to put a muzzle on him or something? Unknowingly, Ji-yun waved his hands. Indeed, if needed, you guys would have taken down Hyosung by force.
그치만
But I get a word out of that, I guess. So I have to ask him that question. Well, either way, he's offended. He has delicate emotions. Ah, this guy. Ah, I hate talking to him.
그거야.
Everyone knew they were on bad terms with each other. Did he even get along with anyone? He hated everyone except you. Seal lowered his voice.
서혜성.
And he made it this far thanks to his pretty face, right? All the staff members were getting sick of him making rude remarks.
전혀요.
His dance and vocal skills were pathetic. If it weren't for editing, he would have been dropped already.
100%예요.
It's mostly his fault that this show is getting blamed for fabricating things. Even Seung lost her cool and covered for him. Tell me if there's anything I said that's wrong. Not a favoritism? That's probably what you want to hear.
그래?
Do you think Seung's favor was the problem?
그런 편이죠.
Of course, you might be a victim of that as well. A free ride damages everyone. It's true that fans from Phater determine the ratings,
그치만
but the right thing is for contestants with greater talents to make it to the next round, right? If Hyosung makes it to the next round, one of the contestants will get eliminated. Ina almost got eliminated because of him. It was B-Stars that allowed it to happen. Seal stared at Yoon.
아니라고요.
That doesn't mean he should exploit that niche. In a way, he is a fraud.
Huh?
A fraud.
네.
Yes, a fraud. His talents have been overestimated, and he's gained more rewards than he's worth. Seung was supposed to push him out, but she protected and supported him instead. And in the end, they both dug their own graves. Seal claimed that Hyosung wasn't talented, but he had achieved more than he deserved. Seal also complained that Seung was very subjective regarding that matter. I mean, he's not wrong, if his account of things is correct.
도윤이 형.
After you came back, you said the door was locked.
그랬지.
It was locked when I was there. Gwaihuk also said the door was locked.
그러니까요.
Then I guess it's safe to assume that it was locked on the third visit too. If you look at it that way, there's nothing strange. Seal crossed his arms over the messenger bag strap. There's no need for you to ask me that.
혹시나
Unless you're cross-checking Ina's and my accounts out of distrust. What do you think? Do you think I'm trustworthy? What if Ina and I are collaborating with each other? Ooh, yeah, that would be good.
저기
I'd consider that.
그래요.
I'm glad then. Of course we aren't collaborating. If I was going to lie, why would I say the door was open when it was locked? See, now this would make sense too. Like, Ina was the killer, and like maybe he saw that she was the killer. Of course, he wouldn't turn her in. He loves her, so you know they could both be conspirators. Again, that's the fun ending that I would write in my mind. It probably isn't. It's probably a boring ass ending. But let's see what happens.
이제 알겠어요.
I can understand why she didn't want to leave any history. He made it clear that he was going to threaten everyone. There's no need for her to leave any history of mudslinging by using her phone or the messenger.
그거 있잖아.
Leave history.
아무래도요.
It'd be easy for him to use the history to his advantage by editing it however he wanted. If I were her, I would have told him to take off his watch first. Seal sighed after he saw the baffled look on Duyun's face.
말하자면
He could have recorded the conversation.
도윤이 형
The look on your face tells me you had no idea he could do that. Maybe we should have taken away his watch so that he couldn't access Phater. Then this wouldn't have happened. Maybe you're right.
그럴지도.
I'm just speculating. He probably would have done the same thing so that he could have his watch back. Okay, don't answer that question, apparently. It would really suck if there was a third person. Like, if there was somebody that was really there sneaking around killing everybody. That'd be like the worst ending to me.
그거야.
I stayed in the dressing room for a minute, wondering why nobody was there.
그게
You said you also checked the door by the staff corridor too, right?
맞아요.
Yes, it was also locked. I dropped everything and left the dressing room, and that's when I met Ina.
그러면
So did you meet her in the central corridor after you left the dressing room? Seal seemed to be drawing the surroundings in his head.
네.
Yeah, she appeared from the door that connects to the staff corridor. She said she checked the dressing room and the staff corridor, but Yusing wasn't there. I had an eerie feeling. Just because you're an eerie person.
그렇죠.
So I told her to go back to the stage. I just had a bad feeling about the whole thing.
서혜성.
You said Hyusung was in the dressing room, but he was nowhere to be found.
그땐
I guess he was already in the restroom by then.
어쩔 수 없죠.
Anyway, I met Ina and we didn't know when another tremor might occur again. I'm the only staff member here now. If a contestant gets hurt or gets in trouble, I'll be held responsible. Although it's too late anyway. Yeah, I mean, 2 people already died. It doesn't get any worse than that. Let's see. The question is to Seal, who just returned. Do you think Hyusung would be okay? Did you think Ina looked troubled? Do you think Ina looked troubled? I don't know.
있잖아.
Was Ina in a bad state?
왜요?
Bad state? Why do you ask that? Because you only care to take her with you.
그거야.
Well, she looked a bit scared, so I hurried. Seal gently cleared his throat.
도윤이 형.
I came back with Ina for a good reason. I considered the circumstances and what was important.
Huh?
What do you mean by important?
그거야.
I have to take care of you contestants.
그렇죠.
It's my job, and out of the 2, I prefer taking care of Ina. One is a contestant in last place who lacks talent and creates chaos by threatening the others. The other is a contestant with great talent and a delicate mind.
아시겠어요?
I wouldn't say Ina has a delicate mind. But, you get the picture. Ina needs a caring hand more than the other. I couldn't search the place forever. Seal said taking care of the contestants was also his responsibility. He stressed that Ina required special attention because she had great talent and a sensitive mind. Sensitive mind, that's not the Ina I know.
서혜성.
Then he wrote another post saying he had something up his sleeve.
그랬어.
Ina said she went there to say something to him.
정답이죠.
But it's true though. She should have said something. She should have said something to him. Popularity vote, resumption of the show. You saw how he was always checking Phater. Most of Houston's fans are Phater users. You write something funny and they start sharing it.
만에 하나.
We should have done something before things got out of hand. Seal stopped talking and stared at June for a moment. And Ina wasn't the only one who was on bad terms with Houston, right?
그렇다니까요.
He's been ignoring everyone, including me. And she went there because things weren't looking good around here. Okay, what do you got for me? Transfer.
뭐가요?
What's wrong with me sharing her feeling of anxiety?
알잖아.
It's true that everyone felt anxiety for their own reason. I'm just curious as to why Ina's name came up.
그치만요.
Think about what Husing has been doing.
말도 안
He
돼요.
wants to climb up the ranks by putting down other contestants. He's so pathetic. He thinks he can take first place by making everyone else resign. The production crew might even cancel the whole thing. Well, he would have never done it if he was able to think that far. Seal stopped talking and adjusted his glasses. I kind of predicted his move when he went to the corridor by himself. Was it about his announcement?
그래?
That he would disclose something?
정답이죠.
He had been feeling on edge because he no longer had any strings to pull. This might not be appropriate to say, but this is so him, right?
그래도
No one knew what he was up to until then. Ah, yeah, damn it.
아닌데요.
I have a different amount of data from the contestants, right? I couldn't step forward just because I had a hunch.
그게
Are you saying you predicted it? Seal frantically rubbed the floor with his foot.
그래요.
Yes, Husing only had a few actions to take. I knew what he was going to say to Ina. That's why I was so nervous. And that's what I meant by sharing her feeling of anxiety. Seal kind of knew that Husing was likely to threaten the others since the moment Husing left them. He also said he could guess what Husing might talk about. Well, I couldn't guess. I had no idea what he was going to talk about. Okay, you. Is it two bad answers? I think he's the only character that you could actually have two answers that both resulted in distrust.
어?
That he would try to threaten us into quitting?
네.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. He was running out of resources. He thought he could aim for the show to resume as long as he secured the popularity vote.
그치만
But things have gotten worse, and he was inspired by S. Young. He thought he could make other contestants quit by threatening to expose their weaknesses like S. Young did. Seal frantically rubbed the floor with his foot. Okay, this is the same. Alright, still got one more word. That means Ina has the last one. Alright, Ina, what do you got?
진짜야?
That sounds like an overstatement. Are you saying I was actually trembling?
그랬어.
You look nervous, plus you left by yourself.
그거는
That's true,
그치만
but Hissing demanded that we voluntarily resign, which was preposterous. On top of that, he blabbered on about making some kind of announcement. Let's see, to Ina, who mentioned Hissing's announcement. Hated dropping out of the show that much? Or was she so afraid of what Hissing was going to reveal? I guess.
있잖아.
Did it bother you that much when he talked about making an announcement? Did you know that it was going to? Did you know what it was going to be about? Yeah, no.
아니?
I didn't. How was I supposed to know that? I just thought something terrible might happen if we just let him rave on like that. It's only natural that I decided to stop him. Ina reached her hand out to stop you.
하여튼
Anyways, you and Gwyther told me that Hissing was only bluffing,
그치만
but I'm still feeling uncomfortable.
그건
And what Hissing was going to say to you? Or about what Hissing was going to say to you? Ina turned her head to face Dylan.
그래.
Yes, anything wrong with that? I still feel anxious. Even after hearing that Hissing was only bluffing, Ina still seemed nervous. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it's probably going to ask me a bunch of questions, which I'm going to have a hard time figuring out. Oh well.
있잖아.
I guess you hated the thought of quitting voluntarily, given the fact that you tried to talk him out of it somehow.
그렇다니까.
Of course, I can't just quit after I come this far. And who knew what he was going to disclose?
그건
I know that, so... You talked to him in person, but not me. Ina reached out to her hand to stop Dylan.
하여튼
Okay, yeah, that's all the same. Alright. Let's see what happens. An uneasy feeling remained. Dylan quietly chewed over the conversation.
명확하게 말해주지 않은 데가 있어. 기분 탓이 아니라 분명히 얼버무린 부분.
Oh god, it's multiple things, not great. What was Ina trying to hide? Ambiguous target, last Phater post by Hissing, which provoked Ina to come to the dressing room next, was actually very unclear in its meaning. Sure. Reason for waiting? Ina didn't want to contact Hissing. Interaction with... Oh, she didn't want to be recorded. She waited by the door and didn't even check it. Ina and Cielo met each other in the central corridor. Since that moment, they had been together and could testify for each other's alibi. Those three? Maybe? I don't know.
혜성이가 뭘로 사퇴를 요구할지 신경 쓰는 것 같았지. 갔다 온 사람들이 블러핑이었다고 해도 마찬가지였어. 혜성이가 그렇게 된 지금도 불안해 보일 정도야. 뭘 얘기할지 짚이는 데가 있었던 걸까? 모를 일이야. 이나가 떠난 건 혜성이의 마지막 페이터를 본 다음이었어. 아무 소리나 퍼뜨릴 것 같아서라고 했지만 혜성이가 올린 글 어디에도 구체적인 건 없었어. 어떤 부분이 이나를 자극했던 걸까? 분장실 앞에서 기다린 건 나랑 규혁이 형 때문이라고 했지. 혜성이가 문을 잠그고 있었다는 말 때문에.
Alright, I'm just gonna type these in just in case I need to know these. Likely I would have gotten something wrong. That would have been the first time or the 100th time I've gotten something wrong so far.
닫힌 문을 보니까 막상 불편해졌다는 말도 했어. 납득이 안 가는 말은 아니야. 파고들면 끝도 없겠지.
Ah, damn it. 2 out of 3. It's better than I usually do. Usually it's like 1 out of 3 every time I try to do this. Well, thankfully there's not that many guesses I have, so it's okay. Oh, did I hit continue? Oh, for some reason I thought I hit load. Okay, well, whatever. Not paying attention. Okay, so that for sure. That for sure. This one maybe?
이나랑 세일이 복도에서 다시 만난 뒤로는 행적이 명확해. 짠 게 아닌 이상은 다른 행동을 했을 만한 여지가 전혀 없어. 무대로 온 다음엔 영희 누나하고도 크로스 체크가 돼. 여기에선 딱히 얼버무린 데가 없다는 뜻이지.
Oh, whatever. I'll have to look up what Line Games has done previously. Of course, they may not have anything in English. Maybe only may only be works released in their own region, but you never know. I know, I am so bad at guessing. I really am. I mean, if I know for sure, then I'll get it right. But a lot of times it'll be like, I cannot understand how this game comes to its conclusions. Here's the for silence. That is the one I didn't pick, right?
이나는 분장실 문이 잠긴 줄 알고 기다렸다고 했지만 혜성이한테 문을 열라고 연락하는 말 따위의 일은 안 했어. 전화나 메신저는 기록이 남아서 그랬다는데 왜 기록이 문제가 된다는 거지? 뭔가 숨기고 싶은 얘기를 하려던 건지도 몰라.
Yes. God, I hope there's not another set of
마음에
questions.
걸린 점은 세 가지였어. 혜성이가 뭘로 협박하려는지 짚히는 데가 있는 것 같다. 페이터의 마지막으로 올린 글에 크게 자극받았어. 혜성이와 나눈 이야기에 기록을 남기지 않으려 했어. 결국 이나가 뭘 걱정했는지가 불확실한 거야.
I don't know, she's probably like an inmate or something. She went to the hall, provoked by Hyosung. She waited until the tremor, not wanting to leave any trace of conversation on her watch. She looked unusually nervous, though. It was probably about her past. He could only think that way. He couldn't just continue with this talk. He still had to think about Suyu. Ah, God.
세일이 얘기에서도 몇 가지가 걸렸어.
Did I write that down? I didn't. I think I can remember. It's my famous last words. Okay.
하나씩 짚어보면
What's Seal trying to hide? Oh, good. His list is shorter. Seal kind of knew that Husing was likely to threaten others since the moment Husing left him. He also said he could guess what Seal might want to talk about. Seal claimed that Husing wasn't talented, but he achieved more than he deserved. Seal also complained that Sing was very subjective regarding that matter. Seal repeated his claim that he went straight to the dressing room. Well, yeah, maybe. Seal said taking care of the contestants was all his responsibility. Probably. At least these two. Fraud and detection. Thankfully, there's only 4 answers total.
세일이는 혜성이가 재능 이상의 대가를 얻었다고 했어.
I'm sure I'll get one wrong.
세게 얘기했지. 일종의 사기라고. 신 PD님한테도 평소처럼 냉정하지 못했다고 단언했어. 마치 스텝이 아니라 편에 분개하는 출연자 같은 느낌이야. 출연자 케어라고 말했지만 결국 이나 얘기야. 뛰어난 재능, 예민한 정신. 소속사 연예인한테나 하는 말 같아. 이나가 떠나고 나서 안절부절 못하다 바로 뒤를 따랐지. 세일이가 말한 케어는 특정인을 향한 건지도 모르겠어. 세일이는 무대를 떠나서 곧장 분장실로 갔다고 했어.
That part is super suspicious. He was very, very, very adamant about this.
빈 분장실에서 기다리다 중앙복도로 나와 이나를 만났다고 했지. 이나는 스텝복도에서 돌아오는 중이었고 둘이 바로 마주치지 못한 건 얼추 그려져. 만난 다음 행적은 두 사람의 말이 일치하고 여기선 더 짚을 게 없는 것 같은데.
Ah, shit. Damn it! I was gonna let me do it again. It's not! Ah, no, no! Damn it. Ugh. That sucks. That sucks. There wasn't an autosave in between the questions either. I'll have to do Ina's part over again. I'm so bad at this game. So bad. Okay, that, and that. We picked that and that. And that?
여기선 더
Oh, wait, what? Really? I thought I picked the... I was gonna have one that's wrong? Okay.
세일이는 무대를 떠나서 빈 분장실에서 인하는 둘이 바로 만난 다음 여기선 더 짚을 게.
Oh, there's always one that's wrong. It doesn't matter what combination you pick. Okay, whatever. The accounts Diyun had thought over just didn't come together.
너무 오래 붙들고 있진 말자. 물고 늘어지다 상황을 악화시킬 순 없어.
Diyun shook his head to clear the lingering thoughts. Oh, it's our favorite friend. Have you found out anything interesting?
플러그 홀.
Well, he summarized the story. You tried to work it out, but it ended up getting more complicated than necessary. First, we must check whether Ina was really standing in front of the closed door. We also need to figure out how the attacker made Hyusun go to the restroom. Made him go to the restroom? What if he just needed to pee? I mean, like, people do that. This is very unlikely, but it's also possible that the two of them conspired to attack Hyusun together. Yes, that's what I want. That is what I want. A lot of missing puzzle pieces. It'd be best for you guys to stick together if you want to know more. If you want no more thriller. If you look closely, anyone could have their motive to hurt Hyusun. Except for me. Don't step forward if you're not ready. Wait until it's the right moment, just like how we did to Seung. Making a small mistake will make you a double crosser. I don't like it either. What will you do? Throwing bombs? Swallowing without water? And Ina was the only person who was questionable now. He had to make his questioning as short as possible, otherwise things would fall apart. But what if this is required for securing their safety? Diyun couldn't easily draw any conclusion. I don't want to question her.
얘기가 길어졌어요. 이제 충분해요.
Diyun nodded at Ina.
그래. 재판도 삼심이야. 그만 좀 해.
동감이야. 이제 지쳤어.
접어두고 구조를 기다리죠.
The atmosphere died down briefly. Whitehook muttered under his breath while looking at his watch.
생존자 명단 다시 발표됐어.
The rumors about survivors spreading on Phater now are all groundless fictions. It's true that Hyusun got injured at the accident site where rescue operations was underway. The rescue team is still securing an access route. The network of the accident site is really bad, so we have yet to confirm details about Hyusun. The other survivors, Yu-young, Whitehook, Ina, Diyun, and the audition floor director Seo are all safe with no injury. The updated survivor list also contained everyone's pictures.
그냥 봐선 본선 진출자 명단인 줄 알겠어.
혹시 저도 있어요?
물론이지. 생존자니까.
Seo frowned after seeing the list from the contestants' watches.
사진까지 이름하고 나이만 나오면 됐지.
Oh, are you not really a staff member? Oh, no, they all know him. Never mind. Again, that would be funny if he wasn't even like a staff member. It's just some stalker. Dean, can you see this message?
뭐지?
Dean's gaze turned to the watch. Yes. The situation is heading in an unexpected direction. Regarding the injury of Hyusung, you know what the post on the timeline is like? People behave as if they are very rational, but they make all kinds of stupid assumptions. Dean unknowingly bit his lip. Hyusung is gone, but they fall into our trap. In my opinion, if people there get to know this, everyone must be depressed. Is there any way to stop them from reading Phater? Nope. Dean suddenly raised his head. He could tell it was too late just by looking at the facial expression.
대국민 추리 오디션 시작이지. 막가잔 얘기네.
저기 저도 좀 보여주세요.
Boyhood showed his watch to Seal. Seal staggered to see the watch screen.
답답해 죽겠네 진짜.
뭘 그래? 스텝이면 적어도 용의자 노름에선 빠지는.
그렇지만도 않아.
Ian raised her head and stared at Seal. Ina opened her mouth after looking at the timeline again.
이게 뭔 얘기야?
I think I have seen the floor director of the photo. I was just wondering, but would anyone search for contestants of B-Star Season 2? My home internet is so slow. After seeing Mass Town's comment, I searched. Oh? Wow, you remember the guy eliminated from the preliminaries a few years ago. I should get on Mass Town's good side. Okay. Alright.
베스타에 출연한 적 있다고?
Seal seemed unaware of the situation since he didn't have a watch. Well, it's probably a good thing he doesn't have a watch. Seal always talked as if he was a middleman between the staff and the contestants. Maybe it was because of his past audition experience. After the face and name were revealed, your floor director Seal's popularity is soaring, man. What's the fuss about having participated in the show? Don't be your life on uncertain things. Or don't bet your life on uncertain things. Button that covers the text. People can say whatever they want out there, but not inside there. Why won't you answer? That makes me worried, restless, frightened.
왜요? 또 무슨 얘기 있어요?
Let's ask him.
세이라, 궁금한 게 있어.
어떤 거요?
너 혹시 베스타 예전 시즌에 출연한
Seal's eyes widened, his mouth closed shut.
내 쪽에도 나왔어 그 얘기. 진짜야? 아니면 페이터발 주작이야?
왜 그딴 게?
생존자 명단 나오면서인 것 같아.
Seal lowered his head and bit his lip.
그게 지금 뭐가 중요한 얘기라고?
That's kind of important.
처음 듣는 얘기겠죠? 누가 궁금해하기나 했냐고요?
When it was about to get quiet, Ina took another step toward Seal. She looked ferocious, unlike before.
참가 전적이 문제가 아니었네. 너 이거에 대해선 뭐라고 할 거야?
Ina thrust her watch before Seal's face. Uh-oh. We're gonna get to the... Yeah, okay. Seal took a step back and slowly checked the watch screen. Suddenly, his face turned pale.
이거는 저기
뭘 얘기하는 거야?
페이터 도는 글 봐봐. 이상한 거 있으니까.
Just saw something creepy. Damn. Not in just one photo, but in several photos. Oh, okay, this is like the standard ending. Is it going to be different? Do I have to go all the way back and make that other choice? The focus was on Ina, but a familiar man was seen in the background. You can see clearly by zooming in.
보기 쉬우라고 사람들이 확대까지 해놨더라. 근데 필요 없지. 난 보자마자 넌 걸 알았으니까.
대체 언제 찍은...
부산 갔을 때야. 난 언젠지 기억해. 근데 언제는 안 중요해. 왜가 중요하지.
Ina's eyes slightly trembled.
너였어?
제가... 뭐요?
스토커!
아니에요!
His sharp cry echoed around in the ruin.
어떻게 그렇게 말씀하실 수가 있어요? 내가 어떻게 이나 씨를 챙겼는데 왜 다들 그런 눈이에요? 진짜 내가 그거라고요?
아닐지도 모르지.
모르는 게 아니라 아니라고요!
그럼 사진은 뭐냐고!
사실 내 쪽에 또 다른 얘기가 있어.
I saw a post of my school bulletin. That guy with green hair introduced himself as a reporter and interviewed about Goyhook's club activities. Attention! Watch out for that guy, Seal. He came to my school lying that he was a reporter and collected private information about the contestants. He's definitely up to something. Oh, okay, this is different.
학교에서 내 얘기를 물어보고 다녔던 사람, 너 같다는 글.
Eyewitness account having seen Seal in public. He asked around about the contestants near their schools or homes.
사람 잘못 본 거죠. 사진만 보고 어떻게 알아요?
마구 튀어나오는 얘기들 어떻게 된 거야?
이거 진짜...
Seal took a step back and began to laugh all of a sudden.
어떻게 된 거냐니 제가 더 궁금해요. 페이터 글 나부랭이 보고 사람 이렇게 몰아가시기에요?
서혜성도 너야?
와, 대체 뭔 관계가 있는데요?
I've only seen other posts, and people say that Seal guy and Ina must be separated for her safety. That guy is Ina's stalker. Looks like he finished Hyosung off before, because Hyosung tried to threaten Ina with something.
날 사퇴시킨다고 뭔가를 준비했는데 네가 입을 막아버린 거야. 넌 벌써 다 알고 있었으니까.
Young held Ina's hand.
잠깐 있어봐. 세이라, 네가 어떻게 말해주는지가 중요해.
Seal took a step forward towards Ina. Young and Ina both took a step back when he did that. Yeah.
이나 씨, 제가 스토커라뇨? 살인자라뇨? 그러시면 안 되죠. 다치실까봐 얼마나 노심초사했는데. 눈앞에 있는 저보다 페이터에서 떠드는 말을 믿으시는 거예요?
몇 분 동안 수상한 얘기가 벌써 몇 개야! 믿을 수 있게 해줘야 믿지!
우연이다. 잘못 본 거다. 말씀드렸잖아요.
그걸로 다 해명되지 않아서야.
구린 사람 취급이시네요. 여기도 그런 사람들 뿐이면서.
The atmosphere grew somber with tension.
분명히 앞에서 다 얘기했어요. 서혜성 일 제가 한 거 아니라고요. 전 워치도 전화도 없어요. 아예 연락이 안 돼요. 그런데 서혜성이 화장실 간 걸 어떻게 알고 쫓아가요?
처음부터 안 게 아니라 가서 봤을 수도 있지.
했다는 쪽으로만 생각하지 마시고요.
그럼 아니라는 단서를 대봐.
와, 여태 얘기한 게 그거잖아요.
어쩌지? 이 상태. 다 우연이었단 말로 넘어갈 수는 없어.
Let's diffuse the tension, I guess? I don't know.
일단 두 사람부터 좀 말리자.
진짜 좀 말려주세요.
그래, 일단 다들 진정부터 해.
뭘 숨기는 건지도 들어봐야지.
과열은 제 거짓말부터 시작된 거라고!
I mean, I'm more on their side. Everyone started to raise their voices. How's it going there? No mass fight, I guess. Don't screw it now. We've done well so far. Eden suddenly came back to his senses. The mood here is not so good. No doubt, you guys have been trapped there. Just stick together, control yourself, and take charge of the situation. If this leads to a physical struggle, there could be an accident.
잠깐만!
Everyone fell silent at Deegan screaming.
진정 좀 해. 둘 다.
야, 너 태도 확실히 해?
다칠까봐 그런다고. 다칠까봐.
Young nodded and stood next to Dune.
이제 한 명의 사상자도 더 낼 순 없어.
내 편이 없네. 그럼 말로 하면 되지. 말로.
말은 무슨 생사람 잡기 일보 직전인데요.
나도 치고받는 데는 반대야. 그치만 지금 얘기들을 그냥 건너뛸 수는 없어. 이대로는 뭉쳐서 버티자고 하기도 힘들어.
그럼 내 양보해서 페이터에 나온 것만 한번 들어보자.
그게 어디가 양보예요?
이대로 아무 말도 안 할 작정이야?
그건
Seal glanced around for a moment.
좋아요. 알았다고요. 길겐 말 못해요. 저한테도 하기 싫은 얘긴 있으니까요.
너 진짜
Young stopped Ina, who was about to take a leap at Seal.
그럼
I would too.
괜찮은 데까지만 해봐.
Seal dropped his arms weakly. Seal's eyes regained focus behind his glasses.
물어보세요. 궁금한 거.
Oh my god. How long have we been playing now? Oh my god, it's 2 hours. Why don't we stop it here? This is audap. You've been watching Buried Stars on Nintendo Switch. Well, boy, it just gets more complicated as time goes on. I mean, I do like where the story's going, but I sort of feel like he's the MacGuffin, and like he has nothing to do with this. Like he really is innocent, which would be funny. Like I said, my money's still on Ina being the murderer, just because that would be the most fun way to end it. But who knows? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.